Hello and welcome to the Sable Society. You are with Maree, and if you are here, then therefore you could be a Sable. Stash acquired beyond life expectancy, and I am most certainly a stable Sable. And it's so good to catch up. It's been a few weeks, I know. I'm sorry for being away because I have physically been away. I've been on tour with the day job, and I've been actually in the deep south, and I've been getting loads of knitting done while I was away, sort of lots of long distances in the back of a truck, which helped to get projects finished. So I've got a few things to show you today. Not a long chat because I'm off again in a few days, but I've got a finished object. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Like a finished full garment. If you've caught the previous episodes, I've been talking about how I lost my knitting mojo. And I lost it pretty much all of last year and a good portion of the year before. And finished, I think probably the last major project that I finished that I really felt good about was the Field Cardigan by Camilla Vad, which I finished two summers ago. And I think I did a vest in between. And oh gosh, and I've finished another one. I've forgotten to pull it out. I've now finished three garments in this year already. Plus, as you've seen, a multitude of hats and cows, and I have just been knitting up an absolute storm. So the latest project, which I showed you the last time, is of course I've been going through stash that I've already had. And this is actually the little project that I'm going to do for this year is I'm looking at knitting through the stash, the stash that's been acquired beyond my life expectancy. And this is the nice thing about knitting from stash, and I think this is what we could all try, is that we can stash one, buy one, so like knitting through stuff that you've got to actually make a hole in that stash to replace it potentially with something else and something new. So I have been diving around in my stash since finishing up at Skeins and because I had stash everywhere. Everywhere. I had it at the office, at the mill, everywhere. So it's now all at home. So I've collated and gone through a lot of it. Well, sort of. And one of the things that I had was this yarn. I had a bag of it. I did a rough estimation. It was some Japanese sample yarn that a friend had bought back from Japan for me. Not a lot of information on the label. I knew it was around sort of a bulky / chunky weight. And I knitted, and I was diving through my patterns and sorting through all of that came back. I mean, I had PDFs in folders up the wazoo, and in there was the Nanook by Heidi Kirrimaier. Now, I knitted Nanook, 4 maybe 5 years ago in Kelly & Co. Donegal Tweed, which we had at Skeins, and it's still one of my favourite cardigans today. I love it. I looked at this yarn and I thought, no, this will actually work in the Nanook. And I pulled it out. I initially thought Chaika. That's where I was going to go, Chaika by Midori Hirose. And I changed my mind to the Nanook because I have only had the one of those. I threshed that cardigan. And I am a firm believer of if you have a garment, if you've got a sweater, a cardigan, a vest, whatever that project is, if you love it, you wear it, it looks great, it makes you feel good, don't just stop at knitting one. I'm a big believer of knitting a whole bunch of those things. I mean, this is my love. This is the OG love note. This is the very first one that I knitted. I've knitted about 4 of these now. I have another one on the needles. More of that to come. However, I love this. I love it because it's quick to knit, easy to execute, looks great. I've got a simple modification that I make at the hem. I find it's flattering because I am a larger gal. I can wear it with a multiple of things in my wardrobe and I feel good in it. Well, that's the battle, right? So Nanook was the same. So here it is. Oh, I tell you what, I played the yarn chicken to end all yarn chickens. I'm going to tell you about that because I did not know the meterage. I had 10 skeins of this yarn. Yes, 10 skeins, 100 gram skeins. I had to do I did a rough reps per inch, so I knew in terms of the gauge gauge was going to be ideal, but meterage was a little unknown. It was an alpaca yarn with some high bulk acrylic, and before you all faint out there, people, that I have had high bulk acrylic in this, small percentage of high bulk acrylic. What the acrylic has gone and done is it's added some interesting colour, right? Two things. But more importantly, it actually added a bit of body to the alpaca, because alpaca can be a little bit loosey-goosey and slippery. So it's gone and done that. So anyway, here it is, completed. And I'm absolutely delighted with it. So that's the, she calls this the bear claw pattern here. I like it because it looks like Art Deco chevrons, and I'm from Art Deco Napier here in Hawke's Bay. But here it is. Ta-da! And I should have worn it, but it fits perfectly. I have actually wet blocked this, but I know from the other that these chevrons, they take a little while to settle down. And with wear and a bit of steaming, it'll probably settle down. There she is. Now, I'm going to talk to you about yarn chicken. I'm getting down to the length. And in fact, the length suggested in the pattern, I think I'm about 1 centimetre shy of what they suggested. So it's slightly shorter, ever so slightly shorter. But I was coming down here and I was literally on this last skein, and I was knitting until I was like, okay, we're going to need to cast off. We're going to need to cast off. And we were coming down. And then I got enough, and I'm thinking, yep, I've got enough there for the bind off. No. And I got the length. I checked the length, and I was like, no, okay, no, this length is ideal. I know the style of things that I wear underneath my other Nanook. So I knew, yep, no, that length will work. It's going to look flattering because I like to layer up. I've got other sort of navy blue t-shirts, which are sort of a longer style, which I can layer up underneath this with jeans and all that kind of stuff. So I had all the styling, the wardrobe, all the wardrobe styling in my head going on. So I start binding off, and I just completely underestimated how much I'd need for the bind off. And I got about 2/3, not quite, probably 60% across. And I was like, oh, I am it up excrement creek without a paddle. Yep. So, but fear not, because it was top down and the sleeves, I worked from the sleeves down. I suddenly thought, you know what? I don't need too much. So I hadn't actually sewn in my ends or anything. I had knitted the sleeves first. I undid my sleeve. I went back 2 rows in the rib, dropped back 2 rows here, went to the other sleeve, dropped back 2 rows, harvested that yarn, grafted it to what I had left. And actually, I should have grabbed it. I literally ended up with about literally that much yarn left, about 20 centimetres. So that was the ultimate game of yarn chicken, but it is completed. I'm delighted. I've got it out and ready. I'm about to actually pack today because I'm back on the road, as I said, in a couple of days, heading back down the west coast to the South Island. This is going to come with me. I'm really excited to take it away and bust it out and wear it for the first time. The other thing I wore while I was away, and it's actually still in the suitcase, is the shoji that I knitted a few years back as well by Nora Gowan, the big cocoon cardigan, which is in actually this aqua blue, which is one of the corporate colours for the day job. So I wore that quite a bit as well while I was away. It looked fantastic. And yeah, it's just so nice to A, be travelling places with work where I get to bust the woolies out, but B, just fully enjoy what I'm knitting and what I'm wearing. So I'm just so excited to have that completed and done. I love this cardigan. I really do. It was published in 2012. It's been around forever. Have a look. You may have already bought this cardigan. Have a look. And if you have and you've not knitted it, do. Really quick to work up. Great for... Actually, it would work really, really well if you were, because it's done on a 5mm needle. This would work great if you've got a DK and then you want to add a bit of a mohair treatment to it and give it a little bit of a fluff. I think that would look amazing. So have a look and see what you've got in your stash with that. Any lazy Southlander 12-ply, Southlander bulky 12-ply that you've got sitting in your stash from Skeins, this will be your friend. Even the warm 14-ply chunky that was on special a little while ago, check that out. It's a great cardigan. It really is a great cardigan. As I said, I did it in Kelly & Co. And I think in Kelly & Co. I'm just trying to remember from memory. I think it took 9 skeins, which is why I knew the 10 that I had, I'd be close. And this tells me, yeah, that the sort of the numbers that I had, I knew I was going to be on the cusp, and I was, so I got there. So that's not a bad going in terms of a bit of yarn chicken. So I'm absolutely delighted to have that finished. Now, I do have something else on the needles already. I cast it on because I did finish that actually just before I went away last time and had it quietly wet blocking. And I did, no, I finished it just after I got back. I have cast on the next thing, and I'm in the, and there it is there. Look at that. Look at that. So this, and I think I showed this to you on the last episode. So I've now got this happening. So this is the new, oopsie, what have I got? Yeah, there we go. So this is some of the yarns that I'm going to have at Knit August night. So this is the new mohair I've got. As you can see, very fine mohair, finer again than the Whisper Fine. So it's just a little soupçon of mohair and fluff, very, very, very fine. And then this is some of the hand dyed that I bought in. This is the merino. I think this one might be, there was two tubes. One was merino nylon and the other one was merino cashmere nylon. But I love this. Does that not look like Neapolitan ice cream, or I don't know, berry cappuccino? I think I might have called it berry cappuccino. Just love it. But I'm really vibing at the moment on lots of sort of warm, sort of rich mochery browns. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I'm, as you know, me in autumnal colours, and see mochery browns and pink, and pink's been a favourite of mine for forever. So this is sort of like cream, mochery brown, and pink. So it's like three of my favourite things all in one yarn. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, and I've just started that, a pattern that I have knitted many, many times before. If you know, you know. If you're coming to Cannes, if you know, you know. So I'm so excited. So I've got that on the go as we speak, and it's been great. Really, really enjoying having another one of those on the needles. And again, it works up super fast. Once you get through the yoke portion, it just absolutely flies away. Flies away. The other thing that I've had on the go too is I've been doing I've got actually a little bit of mending. I've got it here because I want to show this to you. Many may not have seen this. Several years ago, actually I was up with the best friend this past weekend, and we were talking, he's talking about it because he's lost a bit of weight. He's been very active and very fit, and he's lost a bit of weight. And so it must have been, I knitted this 3 years ago. Yeah, well, it must have been because it was for his 60th birthday. 59th, maybe it was 50, it's maybe 4 years ago, birthday. And it's the, oh, I'm trying to remember the name. It is the something Bay pullover. It'll come to me. I want to say Cable Bay pullover, Lyle Bay pullover. It was out of an interweave. I've still got the magazine pullover. Judith. Oh, see, it's so long. So long. Anyway, if you go back on an old Skeins Diaries, you'll find it. This is it here. Or my Ravelry, actually. It's in my Ravelry profile. You can look that up. He adores it. As you can see, it looks fabulous. This is in vintage eggshell. And he adores it, but he's lost a bit of weight. So he put it on for me. Still fits across the shoulders. It looks great there, but he's sort of slimmed up through the torso. And of course, it's just, this wants to be at a neutral ease, but there's probably about a couple of inches of positive ease in there now. So because this is worked in pieces and seamed, you can see the seam there. There we go. See the seam. I have got this now at home, and I'm going to be doing a resize. And before you're saying, oh, okay, Maree, what are you going to do? I will be undoing the side seams and just reseaming it and just taking it in probably a centimetre. I'll probably take it in a centimetre on either side. So that will give us 4 centimetres reduction, which is about an inch and a half of ease reduction, which will actually take it back to where it needs to be. And that's a really simple fix. This is one of the really positive things about if you've got a seamed garment. And I have to say, having cabled garments like this seamed adds structure, particularly with this one too, because it's a saddle. Here is it. Can I show you? There we go. It's a saddled shouldered garment. There you go. And as I said, shoulders, it still fits fantastically well, but it just needs to have a little bit tighter silhouette in the body. So when I get back from down south, that's going to be one of my afternoon projects with a cup of tea and a probably trashy film on Netflix, is to just go through and reseam that. So you can do that with your knits. Some people will say, oh, well, I'll wash it and wet block it, or I'll wash it and I'll try and shrink it in the dryer. No, particularly if it's not everywhere that needs to be changed. If it's seamed, a little reseam can work absolute wonders. Absolute wonders. So that's probably one of the next things that I'm going to be working on. And then I still have, this is just one of 2 or 3 of them. I've got a few of these. So if you've somebody that's got these bags, these are the bags that I think this particular bag might have been actually what these curtains came out of. But, if you ever get hold of these, that duvets come in, sheets, curtains, anything like that, with the zips at the top. I love these bags. I keep them. So good for keeping stash, particularly rando stash like this. So this is a DK bag, this one. So everything in here is double knitting. And this bag here is what I call my cowl and hat bag, because I will knit things like the Harding Road cowl, Harding Road hat. Thank you so much. I've been getting sent actually since I left. That's what I miss. Lots of people are knitting these at the moment. Absolutely loving it. I love pulling together the colour combinations, and that's why this is here. So if I wanted to do if I wanted to whip up a quick gift or do something fast and easy and fun, that's what that there is for. And, it's the sort of thing that you can cast on. It's a weekendable project, and it's easy and easy to do. And it is free on my Ravelry profile. I don't charge for any of my patterns. Download it. Enjoy, fill your boots. But if you've got little bits of stash, this is a great way of storing it. For you may use it for charity knits, blankets, but if you pull it all together like that, then it's easy to find and go and grab. And so you could have one for 4-plies, one for DKs, one for bulkies, however you want to do it. That's one of the things that I've been doing with my stash to get things organised. And last but not least, because I know that you people will ask, and I have had loads of people reach out with the news last week that Design Spun, the mill behind Skeins, has sold its equipment. So for many who may or may not know, there has been a long process for more than 18 months going on to sell the mill side of the business, because essentially we've got directors that want to retire, and it's been a long process. And I have to admit, the senior team there, Brendan, Peter and Ian, have found a home for the equipment, and more importantly than that, it means that equipment stays in New Zealand, and it stays being spinning yarn in New Zealand. So a warm congratulations to Jackie and Graham at Wild Earth Yarns in Christchurch, who have purchased, and their son, who have purchased the equipment. So it will all be heading down to there to expand their operations and actually give them capability that they don't currently have. Things like wrap spinning, which you do for the mohairs, and a dye house, so it gives them in-house dye capability. So as you can imagine, the decommissioning at this end and the recommissioning at that end is all going to take time, but it's really exciting. It is really exciting for both businesses, for Design Spun, allowing them to have some completion in a direction, knowing where they're heading, and for Wild Earth for their next step and some energy and focus for their journey. So super excited for them. But Skeins still remains, and I don't know about you, but I see, now that I sit from afar, I sit there on the speakers and I see all these specials coming up going... Which is why I think you need to stash one, buy one, you see. Make a hole in the stash to put, because there's so many good things coming up. There's even, I'm like, oh yeah, that yarn is lovely. Oh, I haven't seen that one before. So it's actually, for me, I'm loving being a consumer on the other side. And actually, it's almost like surprise Christmas. Yeah, because now, I mean, some of these yarns I'm aware of, but there are some that were just coming in as I was exiting, and I was like, oh, I remember the development, but I haven't seen that in real life. It's exciting. And this is about getting the yarn mojo back, isn't it? So I'm super excited about that. So thank you for joining me and being so patient, because I have missed you. It's been a few weeks. Lastly, Knit August Nights. I can't forget Knit August Nights. That is still there are still a few spaces available. Registration's still gently trickling in. There's been some really good airfare specials if you're wanting to fly across to Napier, and there's still plenty of accommodation. So yeah, get your skates on. We do winter really well here. We have a great venue. There's still most classes are relatively actually quite evenly spread. There's a few sold out, but there's an even spread of people across the classes, so you can actually get tickets for most classes. So come and do it. Come and grab a class, knitaugustnights.co.nz, register today, or even just register and come and hang out. We'd love to see you. Looking forward to it. Very last weekend in August 28th to the 31st. So do come and see us there, East Pier in Ahuriri. Right, I'm going to get going. So good to catch up and see you again. This has been the Sable Society. I'm Maree. Take care. Remember to like and subscribe because that certainly helps me and helps grow the channel. But until then, take care and happy stitching.